December Instant Pot Pressure Cooker Kabocha Squash Part 1 of 2.
So what we're doing is we're making kombucha, rice, and tofu meal. Okay, so this video is for Kirk, a good friend of mine who happens to own Mad Scientist Hut.
Mad Scientist Hut.
Now he told me about this squash. This is a Kabocha squash, and I purchased this one at Sprouts for about $3. And this particular one is a product of Mexico. Of course, you take this sticker off. We're going to be cooking it in the Instapot, and I'm going to cook it just like I do my butternut squash. Come and watch how I do this.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living.
Turn it on. So that's what the light means, it's been turned on. And the next step, you take off the top. And this is a steamer. It steams your vegetables. What we're going to do is I've taken off the center piece so that I can put the kabocha inside. Now it fits perfectly, but I have to wash it. So take a look at my sink real quick. Now this has been grown in my backyard. I know exactly what was on it, but this was bought at the store. If you wash it and there are pesticides on it or some kind of dirt or whatever, it's not going to affect you. Okay, so here's the Mexican squash. Now the next thing we have to do is put in a cup and a half of water. So here's the water, and of course this time it doesn't matter, so I'm going to pour it over the top. We're not putting anything else in there. We're only putting in the squash. Now we're cooking it this way for several reasons. One, I could cut it in half, take all the seeds out, and cook it just like I do normally with my butternut squash. But I found out that this is far faster and easier. It cuts easier. I don't have to take a hammer to my good knives, and I'll be able to pull out the pulp much easier this way than if I was to cook it the conventional way in an oven, or splitting it in half and stick it in here in the Instapot. The preparations for the squash is you need a knife. You're going to need a knife to be able to cut it. You're going to need one large spoon. This is a monster spoon. And you'll see that both of these utensils will make your job easier. Alright, so we're still waiting for it to come to pressure. So what I've done is I've cooked this for 15 minutes, just like it is, completely whole. And I've vented it for 15 more minutes. So when I tested it, it was ready to come out. Now watch how I'm pulling this out. I'm grabbing the top of it, and I'm moving it to this pad here. All one piece. Now the next part is going to be to slice it. Cut it open carefully so that we can scoop out the outsides. Now it's completely cooked right now. I'm just going to move it slightly sideways, and I'm just going to slice it down the center. Now just carefully turn it over to the side. Okay, so what you don't want, not that the skin doesn't taste good or like that, but for this meal I just don't need the skin. So I must carefully try to take it off while it's hot. Okay. Now if you like the skin, you can leave it on, but for this particular meal I'm going to be mixing it with rice, and it's not going to really be beneficial for what I want. I want the inside, but I don't want the skin right now. So it's just going to take a little bit of time to peel this off. Now I could have done this prior. I did try it out to see if I could do that. But, you know, you always are kind of experimenting with new squash. Now, for example, butternut squash, you can peel and cut, you can do. But I'm still learning how to handle the kombucha squash. Okay, so same thing on this side. We'll just take the top off. This is a relatively sharp knife. Do make sure if you're using this technique to be careful where your fingers are at. Now, if there is a disadvantage is that you still have the seeds in, and you still have to deal with those. For right now, you're just getting it out of the way. I'll be putting it inside a container to get rid of it. Carefully, you're going to do is you're going to move it like this, and you're going to cut it in half. It makes it a little bit easier to get the seeds out. Now, some people eat these seeds, and you can't regrow these seeds because they've been in the Instapot, they've been cooked, they just won't work. Now, you take a fork and you just grab them out like this. And right now, we're just going to put them on our plate, but we're going to throw this away. Now this stringy stuff doesn't really taste good, so we're going to get rid of that too. But the meat is fabulous. It has a really, really delicious flavor. And I'm so thankful for my friend Kirk of Mad Scientist Hut, who showed me this squash. He grows them in his own garden. And if you take a look at his work, you'll see that he has Kabocha squash. You're just going to scrape the top off, just a little bit, just like this. That's got that stuff that doesn't taste good on top of it. You don't want to dig it very deep. You just want to get that little layer off. The next part is you flip it over and you take off any green that there is. What we're doing, it doesn't lend itself to having any of the skin in it. And we're going to get a separate plate and put those in. If you don't want to go through this, what I'm going through, cut apart the squash prior and then physically peel the skin off. You can do that. I experimented to see if I could do it with a vegetable cutter, and you can. It takes a little bit of time, and it's almost like chipping paint off a wall, but it does come off. Alright, so that's it. The rest of this stuff is going to go into your container. I always have a container going in my garbage can where I can put something like this with a bag. And I don't leave at the end of the day. The bag goes to the trash can. This is how it is. You take a little bit of rice, use it as your bed for your, and then you take some of your squash and you put it on top like this. This is a very nice dinner.
If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.